Okay. Keep in mind that those who cannot recite the verse, no entrance. Okay, now we are the guards. We are the security guards. Okay, just for information, just a little bit digression. I'm glad to see that these young people who were there, Dedanla, Kandenla, Tenzenla, that's it, two of them. And yes, Jimela. I'm glad that these young people, they're very strict. They're not allowing you to get, huh? Okay. I remember that. That reminds me of me when I was 8 or 9 years old. 8 or 9 years old. And my teacher for the maths exam, my teacher would hire me and two others to check the papers of my own class. Check the papers, math paper of my class. And of course, we are all small children. And my teacher would give all the answers. These are the answers. And I remember that I used to be extremely strict. 1 mark is divided into 4. One quarter. I give like this. Okay, this reminded me of that. And then just for information, this is very important for you to know these things because that you connected with the Nalanda, the studies, and we also need to know some of the anecdotes, which are very important and also quite interesting for us. And you will know what it is like. Thank you. What it's like 1,000 years ago in Nalanda University. So, like what these 4 young people are doing they're 4. They're auspicious. In the past Nalanda University, there were 4 entrances. And to get into particularly somebody who is non-Buddhist and a scholar non-Buddhist who wants to compete, they have to enter through one of the 4 gates. And the 4 gates, they are the 4 gatekeepers. And the gatekeepers, could we say, the gatekeeper means somebody who is, paid so less. But there, gatekeeper means somebody who is most brilliant. They were chosen as gatekeepers. Because anybody who comes, the non-Buddhist, to compete, to debate against the Buddhists, so they have to enter the gate, and they cannot get into the campus until they pass the debate with the gatekeeper. And gatekeeper will throw questions to you, and 2 of you will debate. And if the gatekeeper lost the debate, they can get in, then create a whole havoc and destroy the whole campus. So the gatekeepers are very important. 4 gatekeepers. So we also have 4 gatekeepers. Reasons, the 4 gatekeepers, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 gatekeepers. And I noticed that they were very strict. Okay. So the gate, the northern gate, Prinslov, you do not get through pass through one of the gatekeepers. Huh? Did you come from the north or south, east, west? From north is, if you came from the north, the gatekeeper of the north in those days was the great Saint Naropa. So we have here. So northern gatekeeper, Chism Naropa, and he later became the teacher of Chismarpa, and Chismarpa became the teacher of Chismilarepa. So this says, just a little bit of information for you. And at the time, Arya Nagarjuna, Nalanda University went through a great difficulty. Was Arya Nagarjuna and his disciple, Bodhisattva Arideva, two of them left the Nalanda University for the private practices. And then meanwhile, the Nalanda simply, at that point, suddenly there was a little decline and the outside attacks. The competitions, debates were very rigorous, and the Nalanda was being attacked so badly, and so they requested Nagarjuna to come back to to make sure that Nalanda doesn't go down and continue to compete with the non-Buddhist logicians and the philosophers. Okay, this is just for information. So with this in mind, let us turn to page 4. Sanje joda zoge jonamlo janju bardo dane yabzo je dage jinzo gebe sonamge dola pencere zange dubara isho. Okay, I'll quickly explain this because that for those of us who don't know Tibetan, you see the Tibetan, the phonetics. What you find is the Tibetan phonetics there. So I'm going to explain this, and then you will you can participate in our recitation and feel the meaning. For example, I don't speak Sanskrit. I don't know Sanskrit, but when I recite the mantra Ye Dharma Hetu Baba, I contemplate on meaning because I know the meaning of these words in Sanskrit. Not that, generally speaking, my Sanskrit is zero. I learned just for 2 or 3 days when I was 20 or 21, and but when I recited Yadharma mantra, yes, meanings were contemplated, reflected, because I know each of these words in that mantra. So likewise, if you learn the words here with this recitation, then you will feel that you're connected, and that you are actually contemplating. You will get a chance to contemplate. Okay, first, now keep in mind that the Tibetan and the English, how the language works is very different. And some of you who are translating, like for the say English translators and the Russian, I'm not too sure how the Russian language works. In Tibetan and English, generally speaking, is like, say Tibetan, I go for refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. The Tibetan should be opposite. You reverse it. To the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, go for refuge I. And then the people like Branislav, you miss it. What is this? Very strange. And Tibetans will say, you are strange. You getting it? So Tibetans will say, Sanje choda Sanje choda sogo chonamla chanju bardu dane kyosushi. And you say, what we put last, you put it the first. It's strange. You getting it? There's nothing strange there. It's just because of our fixation. We feel that whatever we used to, we see them as objectively real, intrinsically independent and real. These are purely subjective imputation. Okay, so that we're going to learn more in the course of this retreat. So this is what we need to keep in mind. So when I explain this, you may feel there's something lost. It's not lost, only it's the reverse. Sentence is the reverse. What we end, you begin the sentence with that in Tibetan, and this English is reverse. So Sangye, the first one. Are you with me? Page 4. Sangye is Buddha, Ch, Dharma, Tang, and. Tang is and. And those people who, we all had this book with us. And the one that you have, it is your copy. Keep this in mind, it is your copy. And of course, with utmost respect, you can make notes on this. And some people, they feel that it may be blasphemous, or it may be totally disrespectful if you write on the text. Don't worry about it. But we should not use this for the trivial purposes, like you have to, okay, how much did I pay for the lunch? Then you make a note here. These are wrong. Otherwise, making notes of the Sangye Buddha, you write Buddha there, so that whenever you read this, you will see that the meaning is there. So it's very easy for you, and your time will be very productive, meaningful. Again, Sangye Buddha, Ch, Dharma, Tang is and, Tok is collection or assembly. Tok, Ki is a linking word. Chok is supreme. Chok, supreme. Nam is these, those. La is 2 or 4. To the Buddha, Dharma, and to the Buddha, Dharma, and assembly of the supreme assembly. Then the second line, Changchup. Changchup is enlightenment. Changchup. Pardu is until. Changchup, Pardu. Dak is I. Ni is the linking word. Dak ni. Yapsu chi. Yapsu is refuge. Chi is go for. Yapsu chi, go for refuge. Yapsu, refuge. Chi is go. Go for refuge. Third line, Dag, again I. Ki is a linking word. Dagi. Jin. Jin is generosity. Generosity. Sok is etc. Generosity and etc. Sok. Kipa. Kipa is done. Done or did. Kipe. Pe pa is same, but there's a linking word attached to it, so it becomes pe. Like jinso kipe. Chok. Chok is here in this context is the accumulation. Chok. Nam is these or those. Ki is a linking word. Like jinso kipe sonam ki. Sonam ki is like by these, the accumulation of these, such as generosity, which I did. Dagi. You go from bottom up. Dola penj. Do. Those are migrators. Migrators referring to sentient beings. Do. La is sentient. The La is the linking word which means to. Dola. Penchir. Pen is benefit. Chir is for the sake of, in order to. Pen, benefit. Chir is in order to or for the sake of. Sangye is Buddha. Dupa is accomplish. Dupar, accomplish or attain. Shok is may. May I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of sentient beings. You go from bottom up, you see it's correct. Okay, now let's say this 3 times together and see if by reading this, try to habituate in this, because when I was reciting the Ye Dharma mantra for the first time, after knowing the mantra, meaning of the mantra, still is very challenging for me. It's a lot of this energy consuming, because the concentration, full concentration should be there, because this is not my language. And later on, I get used to that. Sanye Joda Zoge Jonamla Chanju Badu Dani Gyabsu Che Dage Jinso Gebe Sonamge Tola Ben Sanye Drubarai Jo Sanye Sonamge Tola Benjir Sanye Drubarai Jo Sanye Joda Zoge Jonamla Chanju Bardo Dani Gyabsu Che Dage Jinso Gebe Sonamge Tola Benjir Sanye Drubarai Jo. Okay, next mantra. Ye Dharma, page 6, I think. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Dathagato Hyavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Swaha. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Dathagato Hyavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Swaha. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Dathagato Hyavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Swaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation causes as well as taught by the great seer. Okay. Yesterday, what we were doing is how to awaken our Buddha nature, and for that we identified the what to know how to awaken it. We need to know what remedies to apply. To know what remedies to apply, we need to know the nature of the mental defilements. And we explore the nature of the mental defilements as gross and the subtle. And gross one, we refer to that as afflictive obscurations, and subtle one referred to as cognitive obscurations. And afflictive obscurations, how many kinds are there? 3. What are they? Quantum and karmas, afflictions, and the active C's of the first 2. Very good. And the cognitive obscurations, inactive C's of the afflictive obscurations. And what is that like? Like this, they like the subtle smell of the garlic, like, but this metaphor, this example, metaphor. So what exactly is like that? Burn seed, inactive seeds. What is that like? Candela. Huh? Vestiges. Like?
Exaggeration and self-grasping ignorance.
That falls under the category of the afflictive obscurations. Anyone? Huh? Okay, Bharaji. What is that like? Subtle stains, what is that like? Okay. I think there are 5 people who should be defending the rest of you. Who are these 5 people? 5 or 6? Who are they? They even forgot. They forgot. Look, 1, 2, to remember. To remember. Otherwise, look, where are the 5? Only 2. 3, right? So, look, they should tell us that this is what you should be explaining to us later on, that we will remind you. You're getting it? They're not saying, they're remaining quiet. And the rest, they are struggling. Like subtle stains, or vestiges, and some say what? Burn seeds. Oh, why these 5? Who are these 5? By the way, who are these 5 reasons? Branislav, 1, Haskit, and Yoginder.
I was about to speak. I was about to remind you. I was about to remind you after you met them.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know, okay, fine. Good. So this is not yet explained. Okay. So with this, now, very important. Now the next is that so what we said is that then we move to the Nagarjuna's verse, which the 4 gatekeepers stopped you from reciting, stopped you, right, to make sure that you recited. Hey, the Adya, did you recite? Amazing. Twice. Okay, that's good. And you? Good. Jimala? Recited, not recited. How did you get through? Huh? Through back door. Okay. Okay. Good. So we talked about the 5 points with respect to how we suffer, how sufferings come into being. And what I would suggest, I did mention this vaguely yesterday, and today what I would say is that these 5 points that given that you already know these 5 points so well, try to relate this to our day-to-day life. You're getting it? Day-to-day life, where, say for example, say mother and the child, father and the child, or say the husband and wife, or brothers, sisters, whatever. So where, or neighbors, or here, your roommates. For small reasons, then it escalates and unnecessary uneasiness builds up. So just see how they arise, how the unease, this is number 5, suffering. How that arises because of my act of showing disapproval or facial disapproval, whatever. karma, and the other person doing the same thing to you. So don't just think what the other person did. This externally, yes, you have to acknowledge that. At the same time, what's going on in you, your own action. Say somebody says that, say morning, so for example, morning at the what, 5:45 you should be here. And then your roommate, say they did not wake you up, and you were a little late. And you tell the roommate that, oh, what's the problem if you wake me up? Right? And the roommate says, no, it's not my business, it's your business. Right? So you said it unless you said something, karma. Why? You're a little unhappy with your roommate not waking you up. This is affliction. This affliction rooted to the you are not nice, inappropriate attention. And you are intrinsically there. You are not a bunch of atoms. Your neighbor, your roommate, is he or she a bunch of atoms? Bunch of atoms, yes, no. The body, at least the body is a bunch of atoms, right? You don't see there's a bunch of atoms. You see a real person there, intrinsic person there. So that is the elaboration of self-grasping ignorance, seeing the object as intrinsically real. And then you exaggerate that you are not nice. You're not nice because you did not wake me up. While you already got up, you didn't wake me up. You're not nice. Exaggerating the quality of the bad quality of the person. And then you feel affliction. What is that? Aversion. With aversion, you say something that is karma. And the person says, this is not my business. Yes, you have to get up. Right? And then you feel agitated, that is suffering. Look at these small things that we go through in our life. We see that they're all connected. They're all relatable to these 5 things. Is very clear. You getting it? So we can stop these unnecessary miseries on different levels. For example, okay, I say something, this is something which we don't really have to study. No deeper studies required. Okay, I don't say anything harmful or anything disturbing to that person. I rather wash my mouth. So karma stopped. Because of this, other person will not feel that. So the person will not react, and you will not feel the agitation. And sometimes, oh, you are not nice. Oh, you are so nice. So the affliction arises. See if you can see things in relative terms. Afflictions usually we can see that by to the inappropriate attention. You are nice. You are not nice. You are exaggerating qualities of the object. So you're nice. Look at somebody who is nicer. Look at somebody who's not nicer. You're bad. You look at somebody who is worse. This person amazing. Whereas this amazing good, you look at even the better than this, then you say, oh, this is not so good. It's all relative. There's nothing absolute there. But a mind creates all the problem of exaggerating things as absolutely good, absolutely bad. This is a problem. So when you see things in relative terms, manage the inappropriate attention, then you can manage the afflictions. And the karma, mental karma, with afflictions arising, mental karmas operate. But the physical, verbal karmas, they are in your hands more. So they are really in your hands. But mental is more difficult. When somebody says, you stupid, right? You stupid, you can react in 3 ways. Your mind, you stupid. Verbal, you stupid. And physically, the facial expression, disapproving facial expression. How dare you say, you stupid. Physical expression, verbal, mental, all 3 activate. Of the 3, which is the most difficult to control? Which is most difficult? The mental, the mind. Physical and verbal, easier to control, not easy, easier to control. And physical, verbal, which are easier to control, we have to control. If you don't learn how to control this, I'm telling you, I'm telling myself, not only you. When I say this, I have to be mindful of myself. That if you don't learn how to control the physical and verbal, which are way easier to be controlled, trying to control a mind is impossible. Because the physical, verbal, they're driven by your mind. For example, say, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. It's the same thing, but the tone is very different. What makes the difference? What makes the difference? You say you meet somebody in the morning, you say good morning, and the person says good morning. Or the person a person even does not even look at you, say good morning, and left. Where lies the difference? The mind. You're getting it? Where the mind is very kind, where the mind could empathize, because the mind can appreciate somebody's goodness. When you say good morning, the person will likewise say good morning. Thank you. How are you doing? Whereas the person does not know, that although learned all these things here, but does not apply it. Good morning. You say good morning, or even no good morning, as though you have not heard it. Sometimes it happens. Can be extremely painful to the person. But worse is you who did not respond to what that person is saying. You're getting it? Because you accumulate so much negative karma, where in the future, that no matter what you do, people will just put you as a doormat. This is the negative karma that you have accumulated in the past of not being positively responding to others' kindness. This is so, we need to keep that in mind. Okay. So just try to what I'm saying is that in small interactions or to the bigger ones, conflicts, these things, or related to attachment. So you try to see how these five are operating. And as I said earlier, for example, for no reason, today I have this throat gone. So the morning, Geshe Dorji Damdul, he sang beautiful, right? He just volunteered so courageously. This is Bodhisattva's courage. You're getting it? This is amazing. So I lost my voice, and it's not good. So I must have done something in the past. Past karma is ripened on me. But that karma, for sure, I do not do in this life. I don't know. But at least the last few years, I didn't do this negative karma. That I lose my voice. So that karma is something from the past, which I don't know. These are something which is little obscured. Otherwise, there are many things. Because our wrong thoughts, processes, self-grasping ignorance, self-centered, self-grasping ignorance, then what? Inappropriate attention, then what? Afflictions, then the karma and the miseries. Finally, it bounces everything on you. Your agitation comes. This is we have to check it. You check it, and then you will find joy in this learning. You're getting it? Wow, this is a brilliant piece of the knowledge, wisdom, which we inherited from Arya Nagarjuna, who in turn inherited from the Buddha. Okay, so with this, we said that all these afflictions and all these, the matter of farmers, they're connected with the ignorance. You getting it? Okay. Of the five, what is the last one? Of the five, what is the last one? Self-grasping ignorance. Self-grasping ignorance. In short, these five, the first one is this result, suffering, samsara, result, and remaining four other causes. And these four causes can be subsumed under two. Okay, I'm asking, and then it'll be followed with the question. You have to give me an answer. I'm saying this once more. The 5 points which Arya Nagarjuna indicated, who in turn gave this explanation based on Buddha Shakyamuni's mantra, Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava. All these phenomena arise from the causes. Hetum Tesham Tathagato Hyavatat. What these causes are is taught by the Tathagata. So then the question is, what did the Buddha teach? So these are the 5 points the Buddha taught. You're getting it? So these 5 points. These 5 points of the first of the 5, these 5 can be subsumed into 2. Result and the causes. And the first one is the result. And the remaining 4 are the causes. And these 4 causes can be subsumed under 2. Again, 2. What are they? Contaminant karmas and afflictions. You're getting it? Okay, is there anybody who can tell us how these 4, the remaining 4 are subsumed under these 2? The set of 4 go into the set of 2, which is karma and afflictions. Anybody who can see how to match the 2? Anyone with hands? There's one. Yes, over there.
Dharma rises from afflictions.
So my question is, the set of 4 contaminant karmas, afflictions, inappropriate attention, and self-grasping 4. These 4 go into 2 contaminant karmas, afflictions. So how do you match the 2, meaning that how these 4 can be put into the 2? Yes, here the gentleman. Okay, the louder so others can hear.
Afflictive obscurations and cognitive obscurations, at least.
Okay, afflictive obscurations, cognitive obscurations. Okay, that now you're becoming broader. So we confine to the afflictive obscurations. Within afflictive obscurations, how do you put the 4 causal into the 2? Okay, then
Inappropriate attention, self-grasping ignorance come under affliction.
and
Contaminate.
karma is separate. Okay, so how many agree with Dedanla? Dedanla saying that of the 4 contaminant karmas and of the 2 contaminant karmas, these 2 are same. Now of the 2 there is affliction, and of the 4 there is affliction, inappropriate attention, self-growth. These 3 will go into the affliction. Then why affliction separately mentioned there? Dedanla. Why affliction mentioned separately there?
You start affliction, gross affliction, and subtle.
Affliction can be classified into 2, gross and the subtle. So the one mentioned there is the gross, and then the inappropriate attention and self-grasping ignorance. These 2 become the subtler afflictions. Very good. Okay, thank you. Now the next question is that from what we learned, we see that all the afflictive obscurations, somehow they're connected with ignorance. You getting it? Ignorance is like this, the seed. From there everything arises. Okay, now cognitive obscurations, we see that it's not coming out of the self-grasping ignorance, but it is the subtle stain, subtle smell, is connected, is related, but not that this is a result of the, is not the result of the self-grasping ignorance, but it is the stains of the self-grasping ignorance. And cognitive obscurations are connected with self-grasping ignorance in ways, in the form of being stains, not in the form of the resultant state. You getting it? So this is difference. So from this we see that, do you see that finally all of the mental defilements, be it cognitive, afflictive, all are somewhat connected with self-grasping ignorance. You agree? All are connected, either in the form of offshoots or first in the form of self-grasping ignorance itself, number 1. Number 2, or is offshoots in the form of, hey, so all these mental defilements that we have, they are somehow connected with the self-grasping ignorance. How? Either in the form of self-grasping ignorance itself, number 1, or offshoots of that. Offshoots meaning what arises out of self-grasping ignorance. What arises? Hey, the Namsala. Louder.
The afflictive obscuration, the cognitive obscuration.
Self-grasping ignorance, from there what arises?
Contaminated karmas and affliction.
Huh?
Contaminated karmas and affliction.
From the ignorance what arises? Offshoots meaning what comes out of that? Inappropriate attention and, hey, those are the back. Afflictions and contaminated karmas. Okay, so we see that the mental defilements are within us, all connected with the ignorance. How? Either in the form of ignorance itself, or offshoots of the ignorance, like inappropriate attention. Hey, the lady, your name? Noryang, tell me. Offshoots. Inappropriate attention, afflictions. How many agree with Narayana? We all agree. Good. Now look, there are three things. Either self-grasping ignorance itself, or is offshoots, or is subtle stains. What are the subtle stains? What are subtle stains of the inner attention? Ashwarai? Huh? Cognitive obscurations. Very good. So we see all mental defilements, whatever we have, which obscure our Buddha nature, which obscure the hidden treasure, they can be seen either in the form of self-grasping ignorance, or offshoots of self-grasping ignorance, or the subtle stages of self-grasping ignorance, meaning that all are connected with the ignorance. If that is the case, now it's good news. Okay, if they are, let's say that, if you are if you're in a rented room and your neighbor is very complicated, so what will you wish? Dejana, what will you wish? If your neighbor is very complicated and you are in a rented place, your neighbor is very complicated, what will you wish? You can wish, don't worry. Act is complicated. You can wish anything. Yes,
I would like to change my perception of this neighbor.
Wow, that's amazing. So this Araningajuna student. Amazing. Okay, so I'm very honest. What will you wish? Huh? Yes, this is a very honest thought. I wish. Why should I leave? He should leave. You're getting it? I wish he should leave. Right? Okay. Now look, and to your amazement, and don't think that you are philosophers. Don't think that you are anything else of philosophy students at the moment, right? Just think of a very regular person. And what do you think? Will you think the same as what Jigmela said? In a sense, if you agree, yes. Okay, I wish he leaves. And then to your surprise, as you thought, how I wish he leave. And the afternoon you get a message that he left. You're happy? Very happy, right? How many of you will be very happy? Raise hands. Very happy. And the next neighbor comes, right? Why the first neighbor is very complicated? Because he always throws garbage next to your door. Now the second neighbor comes. You getting it? Second neighbor comes. Second neighbor throws the garbage next to your door, plus play loud music on Sunday mornings, where you cannot sleep. Then you will miss your earlier neighbor. What do you wish now? I wish that he leaves. You getting it? Now tell me, is this a solution? Is this a lasting solution that your neighbor leaves? Is it a lasting solution? No, your landlord will not keep this house vacant for you. You're getting it? Somebody's always going to, how many such people will be there? If you have to remove all the people who come to your other room, how many people should you kick out? 8 billion human beings. You're getting it? It's next to an impossibility. By the time you become old already, you have to leave the world. So it's impossible. Now, what should we do? Let's say that, oh, that's true. Either I should have my own house or I have to leave, right? So now, the good news with this is that all the mental defilements, however much mental defilements we have, we come to know all these mental defilements, they're connected with self-grasping ignorance. If you get rid of the self-grasping ignorance, gone. Everything is gone. Offshoots will not be there. Stains will be cut. Wow, that's amazing. So what is the remedy for the self-grasping ignorance? Anyone? That's good news. There's one remedy. What is that? Wisdom of emptiness. Wisdom of emptiness. Okay. Now, Kandila, the Buddha left the palace in order to look for the solution for all the beings. What is the solution? Wisdom of emptiness. So, what is that mode known as? Sharing this wisdom with other beings is giving teachings. You're getting it? Okay, now the teaching comes. Teaching plays a very important role. So therefore, in the monastic universities, the big teachers, highly accomplished teachers, extremely compassionate. This is something that we have to keep in mind. You go there, they're so compassionate. So the advice they will give to the students who themselves have become very senior, the advice that they will give is that anybody comes to you asking to help with, say, explanation of some text so forth, and the teacher knows that student teaches. He will say that, don't look at the number of the people, how many people are there. Even if it's one, you have to teach. This is so precious. You getting it? This is all compassion. This is compassion. So with this mind, the Buddha, the morning, the first verse that we read was, hey, anyone, just from which book we read? No, from which book we read this morning? Which book was that? Hey, Within, what book we read this morning? The Blaze of Non-Dual Bodhicittas. Where is the book? Who has this book? Raise it up. Raise it. Good. So, what's the first verse? Check it. When the first verse, you have to quickly check it. No, don't just wait. Hey, page number 3. You're getting it? You have to check it. Be smart. Be smart. We don't have long, like 100,000 years. No, we have only lifetime very short, right? Enthused by great compassion, then you taught the immaculate Dharma to dispel the perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I make prostrations. You're getting it? Enthused by great compassion, meaning moved by compassion. This should be the ground. The teaching of the Buddha, the ground is the compassion. Be it Theravada Buddhism, Chinese Buddhism, Tibetan Buddhism, whatever Buddhism, to say that is the Buddhist teachings, the ground should be compassion. This is very important. Enthused by great compassion. You taught the immaculate Dharma. What is that Dharma? The wisdom of emptiness. Primarily the wisdom of emptiness to dispel the perverted views. What are perverted views? The wrong views which block our hidden treasure, which block our Buddha nature. You getting it? So, this is what we should be doing. So, therefore, the Buddha started doing this. So, what the Buddha did? Look, Buddha left the palace. What is the motivation that made him to leave the palace? Compassion. And you great compassion. Left the palace. Left the palace to do what? In search of the teacher. Okay, don't forget it. I said he left the palace. Now, number 1, what motivation? Motivation for altruism to benefit the sentient beings. Altruism meaning compassionate mind to take the responsibility of others on your shoulder. That is altruism. Altruism made him to leave the palace. Altruism to benefit all the beings. Then what did he do when he left the palace? He went in search of the teacher. Or the means, the solution, which he is to teach the beings later on, the teacher. So the solution which he used to teach the others, the moment he found it, he experimented it on himself. Who's that? Who said that it should be experimented? Somebody said it. He experimented. Yes, Yogendra said it. He experimented on himself to see it works. It worked perfectly well, Sugata. Sugata meaning the one who has gone to the perfect bliss of purity. Purity meaning that your mental defilements all removed and the Buddha energy becomes very clear, pure. So, with this confidence of the Sugatahood, then the Buddha went to give the teachings, protect the beings by sharing the wisdom with others. Okay, so where do you see this verse? I think the verse is somewhere. Is there anybody who can tell us where this verse is? Over there, brother Quack. Page 5. Okay, page 5. Just see if this verse is available. Page 5. Do you see that? Okay, Aishwarya, do you mind reading it for all of us? Okay, Mike. Somebody has a mic? Huh? Okay, Aishwarya, raise hand. Yes. Tell me page number, verse number. Which verse?
Page number 5.
Yes. Verse?
The one who has transformed.
Very good. Read it.
The one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teacher, Sugata, and protector, to you I make prostrations.
Okay, this is the biography of the Buddha. Now you understand it? Say, the one who has transformed into the reliable guide. Reliable guide meaning somebody who can guide us to awaken our hidden treasure. And that too reliable, right? There are many people who say that I'm the guide, and they take you to make your Buddha nature even more clouded. You getting it? Yes, they are. So therefore, who is that? The Buddha is the one who once upon a time was an ordinary person as a prince. Then he transformed, he changed. If he can change, why not we? We can also change. It inspires us. It's a great inspiration for us that no, you are very special. We can't do anything. No. The Buddha is saying that I change. You can also change. You getting it? So the one who is transformed into the reliable guide. Each one of us can become the reliable guide by awakening your Buddha nature. How? So there was the main goal to become the reliable guide to lead all beings to a state of ultimate happiness. So what is the process? What's the process? Motivated by altruism to benefit the sentient beings. There is a great compassion. Seeing that all the kingdoms were in wars, seeing that there's domestic violence happening, seeing that people are inflicted with pain, sickness, aging, death, and so forth, and wanted to look for a solution. So he left the palace with the motivation of altruism, compassion. Then he went in search of the teacher, or the quality which, upon acquiring it himself, to share with other beings. So for that, first he met Acharya Alarakalam, Acharya Uttarika, and he was not satisfied, and he left. And finally, he found the wisdom of emptiness as the solution, ultimate solution. Once he found the solution, then he practiced it upon himself, experimented it on himself to see if it works. He meditated once for 6 years. So finally what happens with this meditation? Okay, look, at the base, the ground is this self-grasping ignorance. On top of this is inappropriate attention. On top of this is afflictions. On top of this, on top of this, miseries. This what is stacked on this self-grasping ignorance. So he practiced this, and then self-grasping ignorance the ground starts to shake and is shattered. Once it's shattered, all what is stacked on that, inappropriate attention, afflictions, contempt, karmas, and miseries all crumble down. And then he felt absolute peace. And along with these subtle stains, absolute peace, the hidden treasure was unveiled fully, and he experienced total fearlessness and infinite happiness. So then, this is known as the Sugadahood. Sugada meaning the one who has gone to the ultimate bliss of the purity. So with this confidence, then he went out to protect the beings by sharing the wisdom. That makes him the protector. You getting it? Okay, so this is biography of Buddha, and this is his biography. I can also do that. It's an inspiration for us. I can also do that. Anybody can do that. And when you get real deep conviction, that anybody can do that, our sense of being judgmental will stop. So we see somebody, he's from a lower class. From lower class, the societal class, lower class. All these things will stop because even he surface or superficially a lower class, but inside there's Buddha nature. bigger, looks bigger, but inside there's a Buddha nature, right? The king, queen, president, prime minister, whatever, who's very haughty and versus beggar, deep inside is the same, 1 kg diamond, both. You're getting it? So you'll stop to be judgmental. And then your compassion increases. You truly appreciate. And then, particularly with the practice of compassion, you wish that everybody, how come, may your Buddha nature be unveiled as soon as possible. That compassion will come to us. Okay, good. So, finally, the Buddha ended up what? With the Sugata-hood, then? Hey, what happened? Then, protect. How to protect? By sharing the wisdom. What is meant by sharing the wisdom? Teaching, right? So what happened was that Buddha was under the Bodhi tree. Look, now these are all links. Try not to miss the links. If you are able to connect these things so well, you get the first point, you will get the rest of the points so easily, seamlessly flowing in your mind. And this is how you become so rich in your knowledge of the Dharma. So then the Buddha was under the Bodhi tree, where he experienced the Sugata-hood and the ability to protect the beings. So he was doing that. And Indra, the king of the god and goddess, Brahma, the king of god and goddess, two of them in the heavens, they could feel that Prince Siddhartha on the planet Earth attained Buddhahood, full awakening. Now his job, he started his journey out of compassion for the beings. Now that he already attained, he's not giving teachings. He's not sharing the wisdom with others. He was just sitting in the meditation. And two of them descended, King Indra and Brahma from the heaven. They descended to make prostrations to Buddha and made the request that the Tathagata, the Buddha, the one who is awakened, please turn the wheel of Dharma. Made the request to give the teachings, to share the wisdom. And the Buddha uttered this verse. In English, profound, peaceful, elaboration-free, and clear light, and non-composite. Such a nectar like Dharma is what I've discovered. Finding no one who can fathom this teaching, in silence I'll retire into the woods. The Buddha said that the teaching that I've discovered, the reality, the wisdom that I've discovered is so profound. I don't see anybody who can understand this. So better it is for me to retire into the woods in silence. Indra and Brahma, they made more requests. Please don't remain silent. Please turn the wheel of Dharma. And Brahma offered the symbolic as the symbol of requesting Buddha to turn, to give teachings, to turn, is technically known as turning the wheel of Dharma. So he offered a wheel, symbolic, for the Buddha to turn the wheel of Dharma. And Indra offered the conch, symbolic of the Buddha to please blow the conch of the Dharma, that everybody can hear this Dharma, everybody will be liberated. So, two of them, they made a request to the Buddha. Then finally, Buddha assented to their request, and the Buddha headed towards Varanasi. You getting it? So then the Buddha started to give teachings. Okay, so teachings, thousands, what is today known as the 84,000 teachings were given. 84,000, and sometimes you also find mention of the 80,000. And sometimes there's mention of the 84,000. So this difference is not just a random, there's a reason there. I mean, these are technical things I'd like to share with you here. So 84,000 versus 80,000. And then, okay, no room for speculation. We should give the facts. So 84,000 teachings since the Buddha became enlightened. Since the time the Buddha became enlightened and started giving teachings, they all these put them together is said to be 84,000. Then why 80,000 is mentioned is for the reason that at a certain point, till a certain age, the Buddha was always on his own. Although he was leading his disciples and gathering disciples, people coming to seek his help, but he's on his own. Whatever he's doing, he's on his own. Then at one point, the disciples, they come to realize that So our teacher should have an attendant. And they just had a conversation among themselves, and they asked who could be the best choice. So they decided on Ananda, the Buddha's cousin, Ananda. And then they went to Ananda, made the request, Venerable Ananda, would you mind to be the attendant of the Buddha? Okay, if you are made the request, what will you say? If you made the request, what will you say? Alexandra, what will you say if this request comes to you? Of course. No, this is not the point. If the request comes to you, if I can, yes. If I'm worthy, yes. Right? If I'm worthy, yes. So the Rinzala is expressing humility. Same humility can be expressed in different ways. Yes, of course, if I'm worthy. Right? Rather than say I'm not worthy. Right? Yes, of course, if I'm worthy. Okay. But Ananda, he did not say yes, of course. You getting it? So Ananda said that, okay, I'll be very happy to be the Buddha's attendant, provided the Buddha fulfills one condition. Condition was laid, and people were shocked. All the other disciples, they were shocked that it's a privilege for us, and we are given the privilege, given the gift, the privilege to you, and you are laying condition. And they said, okay, sir, tell me what's the condition. So he said that from today onwards, the time that I take the charge as the attendant of the Buddha, Buddha is to give teachings only in my presence, not in my absence. You're getting it? Okay, they were a little shocked, but they took this information to the Buddha. And they said, oh, the Venerable Tathagata, we requested Ananda to be your attendant, and he lays this condition. What should we do? And the Buddha said, okay, yes, so I will teach only in his presence. So Buddha, they accepted to do as what Ananda said. Then from that day onwards, Ananda became the chief attendant, and it's very clear how much teachings were given by the Buddha. So from that day onwards till the Buddha's Mahaparinirvana, assuming Mahaparinirvana, 80,000 teachings were given. So before Ananda became the attendant, 4,000 teachings were already given. You getting it? This is where you see the mention of the 80,000 sometimes and 84,000 other times. Okay, so the teachings were given. So all these teachings can be grouped into three categories, three families, or three categories known as the three turnings of the wheel of Dharma. Let me repeat it. All the teachings the Buddha gave, they can all be subsumed under three families or three categories known as the three turnings of the wheel of Dharma. Okay, now we have to learn each of the three turnings of the wheel of Dharma are the points. One, the place where the teachings were given. Number two, the target audience. Number three, the subject matter of the teaching. Okay, anybody who can tell me, say, each of these three turnings of Dharma should be studied under three headings. What are they? One, the place where the teaching was given. Number two, the subject matter. The target audience. And number three, subject matter of the teaching. What was the subject matter? What is the topic? Okay, under these three things. So first turning of Dharma. First turning of Dharma, the place is Sarnath Varanasi. Sarnath Varanasi. If somebody says Varanasi is correct, somebody says Sarnath is correct. Sarnath is a smaller place within the Varanasi. Varanasi is bigger and Sarnath is a smaller location. Okay, that's a place. Now what next?
Audience.
Sneha, what next? Okay. Because Sneha already attended these teachings in Hyderabad, so she jumped to the third one. Right, she already attended these teachings in Hyderabad with Ashwarai, two of them as sisters. Okay. The sense is target audience. Okay. The target audience. To know the target audience, we need to know what is known as the four philosophical schools of Buddhism. To know the Thagravarnas, we need to know the 4 philosophical schools of Buddhism. Okay, many of you already know this, but then I can see that there are many newcomers. Okay, look, it's boiling inside, it's overflowing. Amazing, thank you. Yes, you're right. Okay, first one is Vaibhashika. That's amazing. It makes my work so easy. Okay, first one is Vaibhashika. What's the spelling? Hey, what's the spelling? Vaibhashika. Vaibhashika, the first one. Vaibhashika. Number 2, Sautrantika. Trantika. Sautrantika, number 2. What is number 3? Chittamatra. Chittamatra. Chittamatra, number 3. Number 4. Madhyamaka. What's the spelling? Madhya. Madhyamaka. Okay, now to make things later, to solve the later complications from now, Madhyamaka we split into 2. Madhyamaka we split into 2. The first one is, hey, Prinslav, Sava Tantrika Madhyamaka. Rangkyuba in Tibetan, Sava Tantrika Madhyamaka. Sava, Svatantrika. Sava Tantrika Madhyamaka. Okay, this guy, what is the next? Prasangika Madhyamaka. Prasangika. How to spell it? Prislav? Prasangika. Prasangika. Okay, we have to remember these divisions, and don't think that there are so many divisions, numbers 3, 4, 10. So these are not difficult. Try to remember them, and when you go into discussions, the ground is already there, so it's very easy that you can delve into the complicated concepts. Otherwise, if the ground is to be laid, so much time will be wasted, and then you cannot touch the main discussions. Okay, so now, and the first one is, okay, the 4 schools. First one is Vaibhashika school. Okay, what are the 4 schools? What are the 4 Buddhist schools? Sakya, Nyingma, Kakyu. No? Does someone know? No, there are 4. Sakya, Kakyu, Nyingma, Gulu, 4. Kyu. Okay, Gilug, Sakya, Kakyu, Nyingma, Gilug, yes, Gilug. These 4? No, we are not talking about these 4. You're getting it? Just forget these 4. Sakya, Kakyu, Nyingma, Gilug. It's totally irrelevant. Study these 4. Vaibhashika, Sautrantika, Chittamatra, Madhyamaka. In future, if anybody asks you what Buddhist sect you are following, Sakya, Kakyu, Nyingma, Gelug, whoever asks you this question, first ask him what are the 4 philosophical schools of Buddhism. If a person doesn't know how to say that, you tell them, shut up. Shut up, learn this 4 first, before going to the branches, right? If the root is missing, branch will not work. Branch will not make no sense. You getting it? What should you say? If somebody says, "What? Hey, where are you? In Ladakh, where are you?" "Oh, I'm the Ngari Institute." Say, "What is that? What sect is that?" "Oh, I'm Madhyamaka." "No, I'm not asking Madhyamaka. What sect?" "Prasangika Madhyamaka." "No, I'm not asking that." Sakya, Kakyu, Nyingma, right? Then ask, what are the 4, what should be asking back? What are the 4 philosophical schools of Buddhism, right? If the person also say, "Oh, what is that? Chonang," right? Chonang, or IBSC. What is that? IBC, what is that? No, the Ladakh, this one. CBSE. CIPS. Jibela. Look, So me following Jigmala drags me down into samsara. You getting it? So therefore, this is a problem. Where you got the wrong teaching, it can drag into samsara. Okay, so first you have to check this. Right? Then the person said, okay, before you talk about Satya Kajunimaguru, first talk about Vaibhashika, Sautrantika, Chitra Matra, Madhyamaka. You getting it? If you know this, then you come to me. Right? Then I will ask, what's the difference between Vaibhashika and Sautrantika? Not easy just to say this for you. Getting it? So this should be something we need to learn. You're getting it? And then spread it. Spread it. Spread it. Let's not go for divisions. Let's go for the unity. Let's go for the harmony. That is missing. Where there's harmony, there's a strength. Where there's a division, divide and rule. Divide and rule makes things very easy because you are so weak, so easy to rule. So where there's unity, you are very strong. You cannot rule. Somebody is outside cannot rule you. So with the divisions, you become weak. So easy to rule. So this is known as British policy. What is that? Divide and rule. To make you first divide and you become weak. And then you rule. It's so easy. You getting it? Okay, good. So what are we doing? First, turning the wheel of Dharma. The place is Varanasi, Sarnath, and we are talking about the target audience. So, first turning the wheel of Dharma. The target audience is Vaibhashika and Sautrantika. The first two, Vaibhashika and Sautrantika. So, okay, first is pretty clear. Vaibhashika, Sautrantika, these two are the target audience of the first turning the wheel of Dharma. What is next? Subject matter. Subject matter. What's the subject matter? Subject matter is Four Noble Truths. The Four Noble Truths. The Four Noble Truths. That too, the Four Noble Truths to be existing truth. Okay. Four Noble Truths. Okay, put it like this. What is the subject matter of the first turning of Dharma? Let's say the Four Noble Truths, and don't just say the truly existent Four Noble Truths. Instead, Four Noble Truths and that they being truly existent. Four Noble Truths and that they meaning the Four Noble Truths to be truly existent. This is the subject matter of the first turning of Dharma. Okay, so now look, the purpose, as we said, don't forget the main purpose. So Buddha gave the teachings in line with his having left the palace to look for the solution. So the teaching that we should be giving should be a solution. Solution should be what the solution to a problem should be what he should be teaching. And in the first turning of Dharma, what is that wisdom? What is that solution? The solution is to get rid of some degree of our ignorance. What ignorance? We are in samsara, but we don't know. But we don't know how we come in samsara. You getting it? We are in samsara, but we don't know the process how we came into samsara. That is ignorance or not? Is that ignorance? Yes. So the Buddha taught that you come to samsara not because of somebody threw you. There's a causes there. There are causes responsible there. So your ignorance, which does not know, which blinds you from seeing the reality of how we came to samsara, that ignorance is revealed by the first teaching. And then, if you don't want to be in samsara, what should you do? Get out of samsara and attain nirvana. Attain freedom. How to attain freedom? Again, we don't know. How to attain freedom? We don't know. You're getting it? We don't know. How to attain the freedom? Again, the Buddha taught to attain freedom, you have to do this. So this ignorance, not knowing how to attain freedom, how to attain nirvana, that ignorance is removed by teaching the teaching on the Four Noble Truths, particularly number 3 and number 4. What are the Four Noble Truths? Anyone? Yes. Wonderful. Your name? Okay, Sonam Lal said, Dunge Demba, truth of suffering. Kunjung Demba, truth of cause of suffering. Gobe Demba, the truth of the cessation of suffering. Cessation of suffering meaning freedom from suffering, liberation from suffering. And finally, Lamgi Demba, truth of the path, leading to the cessation of suffering. You're getting it? So the first two truths, these two form a cause and effect relationship. These two have a cause and effect relationship. Number 3 and number 4, first two cause and effect is related to how we come to samsara, how we are trapped in samsara. The next two, number 3 and number 4, form another cause and effect, that is to teach us how to get out of samsara, how to be freed from samsara. Number 3 and number 4. Okay, so this was taught by the Buddha in the first turn of Buddha Dharma. What's the second turn? Okay, second turn of Buddha Dharma. What's the first point that we need to learn? The place where the second turn of Buddha Dharma was taught, that's Rajgir. Rajgir. Vulture speak, Rajgir. Rajgir. Rajgir is a bigger place, and Vulture speak is a small locality. A smaller locality within the Rajgir. There's a place. What's next? Target audience. Target audience of the 4. Tell me what is number 4. Number 1 is Vaibhashika. Number 2 is Sautrantika. Number 3 is Chittamatra. Number 4 is Madhyamaka. And of the 4, the target audience of the second turn Buddha Dharma is the number 4. What is number 4? Madhyamaka. Very good. So Madhyamaka is the target audience of the second turn of Buddha Dharma. And remember that what are the 4 philosophical schools of Buddhism? When we ask this, when you put it Vaibhashika first, and don't just randomly go here and there. It should be done in the proper sequence. Vaibhashika first, followed by Sautrantika, followed by Chittamatra, followed by Madhyamaka. And anybody who likes to share with us as to why we put in this order. Why this order? Why, if you know the order well, there's great significance. Yes, Tenzi Angela? Yangzumla.
Их воззрения идут от более грубых к более тонким.
Their view is going from the gross to more subtle.
Okay, the first one, Vaibhashika, is very gross. The understanding, the philosophical understanding is very gross. For example, like I said, what is this? Group A says, this is water. Group B says, this is H2O. Group C says, this is electrons, protons, neutrons. You getting it? Which is the most gross? The first one. What is the subtlest one? The third one. Likewise, all the 4 philosophical schools, they explain the Buddha's teachings, but how they explain it differs. First one, as Tenzi Yangzumla said, the grossest one, very gross, and then progressively it becomes subtler. First one is very gross, then progressively it becomes subtler. Second one is subtler, third one is even more subtle, then fourth one is the subtlest. You getting it? So, second turn of Dharma, the target audience is the most brilliant people. And is there anybody brilliant people here? Here? Who would be the candidate for the second turn of Dharma? Each one of us, we have the capacity to be the most brilliant. Each one of us. Don't think that, oh, I'm not brilliant, somebody is there. No, you have the capacity to be the most brilliant. You're getting it? And these 4 schools are not with this, oh, you belong to this, you belong to this. No, it's not like this. Same person. Like, okay, which class is better? Kindergarten, junior school, senior school, or university? University. Okay, then send these little girls directly, directly to university. No, same person has to go through these steps. You're getting it? Same person has to go through these steps. It's not like, okay, I'm less intelligent, I'll go to this. No, each one of us, we have to go through these 4. Okay. So the second teaching, second turn of Buddha Dhamma, this is the most profound teaching. So the target audience is Madhyamaka, the one with the smartest intelligence. Okay, what's next? Subject matter. Subject matter is there. The Buddha taught that nothing exists as story. Everything is like a dream. This is subject matter. In other words, emptiness of objective reality. Subject matter is emptiness of objective reality or emptiness of self-characteristics. Also, these are technicalities you need to note down. Emptiness of objective existence slash self-characteristics slash intrinsicality. Okay, if you are a little confused, don't worry, just make it very simple, and later, in any ways, I'll make you complicated. Right? So it's up to you, either today or tomorrow. So if you want to break today, I'll make it simple today. So, and what is what is that? Subject matter of the teaching, that second turning is emptiness, or in simple terms, that nothing exists truly, everything's like a dream. This is in simple terms. Technically speaking, is known as the wheel of Dharma of the emptiness of self-characteristics. Wheel of Dharma meaning the teaching, wheel of Dharma of the emptiness of self-characteristics. Yes. Yes. There's also the middle path. Yes, you are right. Yeah. Okay, good. Now next. What is next? Third turn wheel of Dharma. Okay, third turn wheel of Dharma. Under third turn wheel of Dharma, again 3 subtopics. First, the place. The place is Vaishali. Okay, those of us who are beginners, you may think that what, everybody already knows everything. Yes, you are very lucky to be with PhD candidates. You are getting it? You are a beginner, but you are sitting with the PhD candidates. You are very lucky that you can learn very fast. Okay, you are very lucky. Don't think that I'm just such dull person. Everybody knows everything. Take it positively. Okay, so the place is Vaishali. The target audience. Target audience, okay, let's say, of the 4 Buddhist schools, which school is left now? Okay, Vaibhashika, South Trentagar, gone. When? First turning. Madhyamaka gone. Where? Second turning. Now only Chittamathra is left. So the target audience of the third turn of Dharma is Chittamathra. And for this, I need to explain a little bit. Okay. Okay, what is next? Subject matter. So, for the subject, to understand subject matter, this is where we need to be more focused and pay attention. This is a little technical. And thus far is easy. The place is very easy. It's the study of geography is very easy. You will just memorize. And then what? Target audience is lost sociology. Right, is easy. Oh, I don't mean to say sociology easy, right? Those who are doing sociology, I have many friends, the professor of sociology. I don't mean to demean them. But the third one is very complicated. You need to pay attention. So, what is the third one? Subject matter of the teaching. Subject matter. For the subject matter, what happens was that you have to know the story, but actually it's not story. It takes form of story. What happens? Whole group of people over there attending the Buddha's teachings. And the Buddha taught the 4 Noble Truths, first turning in the Varanasi, the Buddha taught 4 Noble Truths, and the 4 Noble Truths exist truly. Okay, all of you pick up something that you have on your table, pick up something and show that to me. Pick up something? Okay, and look at it yourself. Look at it yourself and see how it appears. Does it appear truly real or like a dream or so hazy? How do you see that? Real, truly real. You're getting it? Truly real. This is how we begin a journey. This is truly real, of course, truly real. You're getting it? And when we study particularly the Buddhist philosophy, what I would say is that speak from your heart. Don't speak your philosophy. You're getting it? And at times, your philosophy and your heart can be the same. That's perfect. Otherwise, your heart says something different and your philosophy says something, and then you say the philosophy, it will never help you. You're getting it? So whatever you know, whatever comes to you from your heart, say this. And if philosophically you know something, but your heart says something different, see that there's something wrong with the philosophy or something wrong with my heart. Check that. Study more. Then gradually they will see that if the philosophy is correct, you will see that these two will come closer, 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 and they will merge. You're getting it? Okay. So with this in mind, what happened was that in the first turn of Buddhism, the huge group meaning not necessarily in that local place. Local place, there were only 5 people. There were only 5 disciples. There were only 5. So there, when the Buddha taught that Four Noble Truths exist, and they exist truly, right? Vaibhashika of the 4 philosophical schools, Vaibhashika and Sautrantika, they were very happy. You're getting it? Okay, we got the teaching, the wisdom which the Buddha is to share. I got this. And then they left. Then when the Buddha went to Rajgir, Buddha gave the second teaching. So who are left? Chettamatra and Madhyama, 2 of them. Because Vaibhashika Sautrantika, they're very happy, they all left. And then the Buddha taught nothing exists truly, right? The first teaching, Buddha said, 4 Noble Truths. This is how we come into samsara, how we can get out of samsara, and this exists truly. And second turning, Buddha said, nothing exists truly. Everything is like a dream, mental projected. Wake up. And then, of the 4, the first 2 gone. The 4th one, who is that? Hey, what's the 4th one? Hey, physicist. 4th one. Physicists, these people sometimes they're weird. Physics, they're too much into atoms. They will not see you. You're getting it? Okay. So the name, Sirinchuskit. Okay. Sirinchuskit, brilliant physicist. Yes. Okay. She's a physicist. Hey, just look at her. She's a physicist. Yes. So what happens is that in the second turn of Dharma, when the Buddha taught nothing exists truly, everything is like a dream, Madhyamaka people are so happy they left. Right? And finally in Vaishali, the third turn of Dharma, Vaishali, now who's left? Hey, Srinchuske, who's left? Chittamatra is left. So why left? Not for any good reason. Because they were confused. First turning, Buddha said, 4 Noble Truths exist truly. Second turn, Buddha said, nothing exists truly. So they were confused. Right? They were confused. First turn, Buddha said, everything, the 4 Noble Truths exist truly. And their level of thinking is higher than Vaibhashika and Sautrantika. So they continued. And then in second turn, Buddha said, nothing exists truly. And it's the Buddha who's saying this. It cannot be wrong. But now we are lost. So those people who are lost, they came to Vaishali. You're getting it? Okay, but the reality is different. In Vaishali, what happened was that it was a huge gathering. And particularly, there were 10 big bodhisattvas. Bodhisattvas on the 10 bhumi. 10 bhumi meaning they are on the verge to become enlightened. They were on the verge to become Buddhas. 10 bhumi bodhisattvas like Are Manjushri, Are Ladakh-24June25, Are Maitreya, Are Vajrapani, all these bodhisattvas on the 10 bhumi, 10 level, but in the next moment they're going to become Buddhas. All they were there. And then the bodhisattvas, the devotees, monks, nuns, lay devotees, all were there. Then the 10 bodhisattvas, they asked 10 questions. They asked 10 different questions. And the Buddha responded to each of these questions. These questions are extremely interesting. Buddha responded to each of these questions. And one of the questions was asked by Bodhisattva Pramat Samadgatha. Bodhisattva Pramat Samadgatha also on the 10 bhumi. And he stood up, made prostration of Buddha, and then asked the question. Look, this is very important for us. Listen to this question that he asked. He asked, the Venerable Tathagata, in Varanasi, you taught the Four Noble Truths and you taught the Four Noble Truths exist truly. In Rajgir, the Buddha taught that nothing exists truly. And Of course, the Buddha, you being the fully awakened one, you don't have any ignorance. There's no misconception within you. There's no confusion within you. There must be a reason why you taught two different teachings. There must be a reason. Superficially, these two teachings contradict. Do they contradict or not? Superficially? Yes, they contradict. But you are an awakened one. You are a totally enlightened one. There's no contradiction within you. There must be a reason. What must be the reason? You getting it? This was a question asked by Bodhisattva Paramat Samudgatha. In Tibetan, Tundam Yanda Pak. Chanju Semba, Tundam Yanda Pak. He asked this question. Then the Buddha gave the answer, responded to this question. So the answer the Buddha gave as response to the question from Bodhisattva Pramatsamagada came out to be the root philosophical text of Chittamatra school. So, in fact, Bodhisattva Pramatsamagada stood up on behalf of the Chittamatra followers. You getting it? Bodhisattva Pramatsamagada asked this question not because that he was lost. He understood the second Noble Dharma fully. He's already on the 10 Bodhisattva level. So he asked this question on behalf of the Chittamatra philosophers or practitioners who were lost, who were just confused between these two things. First, turning where the Buddha taught Four Noble Truths exist truly. Second, turning where the Dharma where the Buddha taught nothing exists truly. So they were confused. On their behalf, Bodhisattva Pramatsamagada stood up to ask this question to the Buddha. Then the Buddha responded. And the Buddha said, you are right. You're right. You are right. I did teach. In the first turn of the Dharma, I did teach that Four Noble Truths exist truly. In the second turn of the Dharma, I did teach that nothing exists truly. I did teach it that way. And there's a reason there. Then he explained the reason. He interpreted his own teachings. That interpreted version of the teaching, in the third phase of this teaching, came to be the main teaching source for Chittamatra philosophy. So what was the interpretation the Buddha gave? This we'll do in the next class. Okay, we'll stop here. Bhagya tuje shaye rezo chon shenge me ponjomba sege lumbo tabo jebe ko shaye gebo kela chazelo oh mone mahamona swaha oh mone mahamona swaha oh mone mahamona swaha oh mone mahamona swaha. Okay, 3 persons together.